Hi guys, it's Steph and Chris again, Hickorycroft Farm. Today's video is kind of, I guess, a recap going back to one of our earlier videos this fall. Was it in September?
August or September, I don't remember. But
we'll link it above anyway.
It was basically our farm goals / to-do list, and we kind of chose to work in a chunk of the rest of 2020.
Yeah, it was what we were hoping to achieve before the end of 2020, basically.
So pretty much, this is going to be a little bit of a walkthrough of what we achieved, what we maybe didn't get done off our list, and then a few things
that we added to the list.
Yeah, that we added to the list and got done, or mostly got done. Since we were staying in front of the barn, we're starting with two things that weren't on the list. So thing number one was actually one of our last jobs of 2020, which was fixing the barn door, the rear barn door and window. So that's something that wasn't on the original list, but we actually completed. And of course, the other thing that wasn't on the list, because at the time we hadn't really discussed it at all with anybody, wasn't really a thing to do, but was a big change. So 2020, we made the decision to change from raising goats for milk to cows. And of course, there they are. Danny and Dorothy. So that was a big change. So we're now in behind the barn, and
this was a big project area.
Big project area that we maybe didn't excel super well on. We did manage.
You put it nicely.
We did manage to get the goat barn up. This building
still needs to come down.
And this building, I think we mentioned in the original video that we were hoping to use them for pigs, and we were try to come up with a plan. So we have the plan. We started to try to level off an area to get this building down, and winter came. So that pretty much is on hold until spring conditions allow us. The final one back here was we had planned to build another one of these. This little, what is it, an 8x10 structure?
Well, we were going to do 10 by 10.
We were probably going to do a 10 by 10 right here. Pole barn style. Still a goal, and we still have a lot of the material sitting there. Not all of it, but
we have a good start to it. We could do the pole barn structure.
Yeah, that's going to be a 2021 job.
We just changed plans a little bit. So that one didn't make sense to work on right now. It wasn't a priority
We
anymore.
changed plans to try to do something that would work a little quicker. So
this part of back here, I think we're pretty proud of. We're pretty impressed with our swiftness of execution.
Yeah, this one went together well, and this was
working under pressure.
Well, and this was the substitute, because we sat down on the pole barn we just talked about. We were like, we won't be able to get that done before it freezes up.
Well, and it was the fact too of when we were running them from the back, you had to then develop a channel that went to that building, which was more fencing, more. Anyways, there was a lot of factors.
This just was easier in our minds to get finished, and
it was what we wanted, something there, anyways.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it was a long-term plan, but and we got it completely done.
Sometimes it's one of those things you think you've got a plan, and then you work it over and you talk about it and you come up with an even better plan. So that's why we always take so long to do stuff, so that we can come up with the best plan.
When did we build that in, like
2 days?
Yeah, but it wasn't like
it was 8 hours, less than 8 hours to build the building, and then we were another day fencing.
Doing the fence, yeah. But then there's the sheep in there, so one of our breeding groups. That one's a good one. We have plans for 2 more of these rabbit hutches.
Yeah, one of the mega hutch size,
and one these smaller sizes. So we have the material. We didn't absolutely need it, so we've put this off. We're going to probably.
We can build it in the barn, so.
Yeah, we're gonna build them in the barn, and we're gonna get them built. We're gonna put a time frame on. We're gonna get them built before spring, when we do need the space for them. So we've got some leeway, but this is going to be a carryover into 2021. We're back by the pastures, and it was on our list, and we did finish it. We got pasture 2, pan around, fenced in, and we actually were using it.
The only thing missing is a gate.
But the pasture was fenced and used, which is pretty awesome.
And used by turkeys.
Yeah, the turkeys have been back here, wild turkeys. We didn't get past that though. As you can see, this would be pasture 3, 4, and 5 as I pan around. Horses eating hay. We do have a temporary fence up which allowed us to at least use it for the horses, which is kind of nice.
Yes.
And we have all the material to basically make a really good start as soon as
we can dig holes.
Yep, as soon as we can dig holes. Still good progress, and this is going to be a big project for spring of 2021.
High on the priority list.
So here's another change of plans. The ultimate job of planting our garlic we completed, which was good. Just in time.
We'll link that video above because that was cutting her close.
So, but the original plan was to use a bit of a garden space we were hoping to sort out down along our driveway.
Yeah, we basically abandoned the plan of putting the garlic down the driveway because I think it would be better to put something that requires less. Is tending the right word?
Yeah, less tending.
You know, like the garlic needs to be moved and harvested and whatever. And so we've just ordered, how many?
150 Killarney raspberry plants.
Yes, and we're going to do, ultimate goal, 2 nice thick 50-foot rows along the driveway. So we're going to keep that with perennial type stuff that we don't necessarily need to tend.
Yep. So we're now in the garden, in our raised garden space.
And I'm standing in the same spot that I said a very important goal is getting our raised bed formation here finished.
L's.
We needed an L here, and we need another 4-foot by 8-foot low bed for tomatoes, beans, whatever. As you can see, it didn't happen yet.
Nope.
And now we have snow, so it's not happening right now.
Nope.
But we did
build a greenhouse.
Build a greenhouse instead, which I think is 5 times better than getting those raised bed finished.
Well, in the succession of yearly planting, this will probably be more useful earlier on, and we'll still have time to get the beds planted. I think we also mentioned about planting some cabbage in the bed down by the road. Well, we didn't do that, but we did get our cabbages planted, and despite the fact that it doesn't really look like it, they're still doing okay underneath that
pile of snow.
Yeah, they're kind of insulated now, so we'll sort of see what happens with them, but at least they got in. But a job that we did get finished was all the tree seedlings that we had down by the woodshed, which are going there next. We did actually get potted into their upsized pots. So it doesn't really look like it here, but they're in a relatively sheltered spot. We're going to leave them here for the winter and see how they do. I think this was just mentioned in passing, but we did get our pawpaw seedlings upsized into bigger pots as well, or transplanted. And right now, for this winter, we have them in the greenhouse. It's a little more protected, a little warmer, and I know pawpaw seedlings can be a little temperamental. These are our Red Baron crab apples. Finally decided where to put them, and we got them in the ground well in advance of winter coming, so hoping these do quite well in this spot. So the other planting job that we had on our list was our blueberries, which of course come with a pretty long story of being planted, then dug up, brought with us, well, stored over winter, brought with us, then partially getting planted, but we still have some in storage. So we did manage to get, how many we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
We got 3 high bush and 8 low bush.
So there's 11 in this bed, and this bed's basically done. It needs a little bit more mulch. And then we have 4 more high bush in this bed. That bed's mostly done. We just didn't get the last, 3 or 4
Well,
planted.
yeah, we're going to plant around the corner, but that meant digging into another bucket, which meant we had to plant everything.
And we didn't have all the spaces set up. And here's where the remainder of our blueberries sit.
Hence why they're a priority for next year.
But oddly enough, when you look at the high bush blueberries in particular, because these 3 are all high bush blueberries, and this has this one here has some more of the low bush. They're all in pretty good shape. So this is where they spent the winter last year. This is where they spent most of the summer of 2020. And now they're going to spend another winter here. And we're not too worried about them.
And last of course, but not least,
is our wood situation. So I think when we looked at this, it was completely empty. There was
no wood, and we had the 2 apple presses in there, which we said we we're hoping to do something with, and
we did quite a bit with the apple presses.
We made
this
a
year.
lot of apple juice, and we'll link that above too, because why not?
Yeah, we still have quite a bit in the freezer, and we actually pulled some out at Christmas.
Yeah.
And
Everybody
froze.
loved it.
Oh, it froze really, really well, and we just diluted it a bit with water, and we were good to go. But anyways, this is not obviously our hard work in harvesting all this wood, but we did get the woodshed filled. Well, that's pretty much, I guess, our little tour of
what we did and didn't achieve.
Yep, our recap of our 2020 to-do list.
I mean, I think in the original video we said the goal was realistically to achieve 40% of that list.
It's really hard to measure. I would have said we probably did, but
we achieved 40% in the sense that what we were hoping to do with the items will be achieved. Like, we built a different building instead of the one we wanted to build. Still doing the same purpose though, so it is achieving the goal. We built a greenhouse instead of garden beds.
Not still goal, but
it still benefits the garden production next spring. We're still going to have to keep soldiering on with all the other things that were still on the list. But I think, as far as the 40%, I almost think we probably exceeded that, in that we did some pretty big projects that are going to benefit us in the long run.
Small steps forward.
Stay tuned for a 2021 goal list, because it's coming.
Yep, we've been thinking already. But, on that note, I think we're going to head in for a bit and keep going on something.
Yeah.